Boardwalk School of Economics, the right choice.
Greetings, fam. Greetings. This is Reverend Sinclair here, a weekly podcast. I've decided to go ahead and do it on do the audio, so we could just relax and practice our listening skills. And once we do a visual, sometimes we get caught up in, oh, what does he have on? What does he look like? What's the background and all that kind of stuff. So let's just relax for a moment. And this will be a good supplement to your weekly family meetings that I hope that you will start engaging in. All right, so we're gonna for the whole years, engaging in life-changing ministry to boost your personal and economic prosperity. And I know over the years you're used to people telling you about financial literacy and prosperity and all that kind of stuff, but they really don't know what they're talking about. Or let me just say, I'm going to go deeper than that. I'm going to look at the holistic approach from the individual, starting with the foundation of the individual, to get our minds right, to get our bodies right, so that way we will, excuse me, we get a well-rounded approach on life. And basically, it's discovering your purpose. So what we're going to talk about today is, let's discuss the why and how of finding your purpose in order to help your family and friends to prosper. And starting with you first. We're going to work on ourselves. And if you go to the website, powerthroughunity.org, I have the membership section there, and it will pretty much take you through the process of the course structure. I have different courses there that you can look at. Just take your time. Just take your time. Relax. All right? Just relax. So we're going to talk about the weekly family meeting, and that's in the 12-week literacy, 52-week literacy course that's on there. I think that's and then that way you could, I recommend you download it, and that way you guys could sit down as a family. It's a nominal fee. We need cash flow to make this thing work, to spread the word. I've been doing this for quite some time. I even put a new video up that's like less than a minute. It's for you to look at. So if you indulge in this process here, I guarantee that it will be life-changing for you. And there's some things that I can't, I can only tell you so much. But this is an educational ministry, and as you go through the material, the light bulb is going to come on. And today, and you can, I'll be sending out the flyer shortly, so that way you can look at it. But one top topic I want to discuss briefly is discovering the truth about motivational speakers and feel-good preachers, and how their message may actually be detrimental to your overall spiritual growth and subconscious personal development. Spirituality versus religion. And when you go to the orientation course, I go into more detail with that. And this is basically a self-study course. I do lectures and so forth to try to supplement it. But one thing I learned about when I was in law school was basically how to teach myself. So the material is there. You have to be a reader. A lot of people say, oh, there's a lot of reading. I don't know what to say. You just got to spend some time developing your mind. The mind is like just like you play basketball, you get into physical fitness through exercise, and reading and stimulating your mind keeps exercise, keep that Alzheimer's away. But first of all, I want to work on our young people. I want to start with our young people, because they have challenges that we didn't have, a lot of us didn't have when we were growing up. And I just want the young people to give them a sanctuary, if you will. The home should be the sanctuary for your children, so they can find that peace and comfort and be able to stimulate their mental growth. That's where it should take place. The person, had a discussion about
Boardwalk School of
the
Economics,
type of
the right choice.
schools that, whether you send them to a private school or public school, of course, if you send them to a private school, that environment is nurtured and developed to be a certain way. But even then, no matter where you send your child to school, they need to have, some children are self motivated. They need to have that environment that helps to motivate them. And that's where the parents come in and develop that nurturing environment, because a lot of them are going through some different challenges that we didn't have when we were growing up. The peer pressure, the social media stuff that's going on, but we want to teach our children to be leaders and not followers. We want them to be able to spend some time with themselves and not always have to be around someone else, or have to be stimulated by some outside interest, to so they can feel good about themselves, and whether or not they get likes or friends and so forth, that will come in time. But the most important thing is for them to be able to love themselves, and with individuals too, to spend some time with themselves because they're going through some challenges, and that's what the family meeting is all about. So you can stay in touch with your children and see what they're going through in their life, and let them know that this is just a brief phase of their life, but this is where they should be getting that foundation. That foundation. That's what the school should be able to help them to read and write and be able to think critically by reading different books and so forth. So that way they can develop that mind while they're young. So because if you don't do this when you're young, when you get to be an adult, it's going to be pretty hard on you. And we don't teach our children to think about that. All they thinking about is having fun and going to class and hanging out with their friends, and they're not thinking about their future. You know, have them look at their future self. What is it that they want to do with their life? And this is the best time to do that, because when you're young and you're a teenager, you look at a person that's 65, 75, 80 years old. They look at that as ancient, and you're an old man, and that's a bunch of disrespect they get from television, from the dominant society, where they don't respect their elders. So and it's feeding off into our communities. But then again, our elders have not been properly educated and trained. Some households have that core foundation and that old school structure and discipline, but a lot of families don't. So we want to get back to the basics. We want to get back to the basics. So and so when I said the motivational speakers and so forth and feel good preachers, it's good to feel good about yourself. But if you don't have an action plan for your life, a purpose, I grew up in the church, but nobody's nurturing your other than telling you some stuff and having you go to Bible study and all that kind of stuff. Unless your parent is instilling in you to be the best that you can be and study hard in school and thrive, to be something in your life, you're not going to get that in church. And then some preachers, I know I was a part of a ministry, and when you try to bring this into the church and so forth, the preacher who wants to be the only person that the people voice they hear doesn't want you to come in and share with the young people anything else, because it takes the focus away from them. And a lot of and there's a message that I have developed, and I also put it in the orientation about um, um, talking about idol worship, idol worshipers. So that I put that in the orientation. So this is some good stuff. Take the time and go through it and supplement it with use that material to supplement your weekly studies. But when people, just like I used to have a job and they would give you these awards, oh, you did a great job, and then A month later, all these people that got these awards, and so they were being laid off. They were being laid off. So I'm saying, give me, don't tell me nothing good about myself. Just give me the money, right? So the thing about it is that people telling you and make you feel good about yourself, that's all well and good. But the bottom line is the action. What action are you going to take place in your life? How are you going to make sure that you can sustain yourself when all the accolades and the data boys are not around? How are you positioned in your own life to take yourself to another level? Because I know I've gone through so many roadblocks in life. People trying to stop you, racism is a lot. I guess is a lot easier now. But I removed myself from that environment so I wanted to uh, work for myself. That's why I went to law school. So I want to have my own. I didn't want to deal with, excuse me, all these different dynamics of individuals who, whatever personal agendas and personal problems that they have, because they have a higher ranking in the business than I did, I have to deal with that. And even in the military, the reason I got out is like, wait a minute, I can't be taking orders from this guy. He doesn't have a clue himself. So this is about personal growth and development. Then being able to work with other people. So when you're working around people who all they've been groomed to do is work for somebody else, and they think an entrepreneur person is a celebrity. It's like something that's out of space or something. We want all our children to have that wealth mindset, to be trained as a young person how to compete economically. But first, it starts with the growth and development. And parents, just because you don't understand, don't get in the way of your children from understanding. I've talked to parents and saying, well, I was never good in math or English, so I don't expect them to be good in math. That's nonsense. That is the most ridiculous thing there is. So quit hindering them. And just because you don't believe in certain things and you're failing to evolve, because they're getting a different perspective when they go on social media, they look at on YouTube and in school. They're getting all this stuff from peer pressure. So you have to evolve as well. And that's why I've called this a university in your home program, because we have to get the household has to evolve in our thought process. I'm not trying to change you. I'm just trying to enlighten you so we can come together and learn to work together instead of individuals running around with their head cut off. We complain about society, we complain about the politicians, we complain about this and that. But what about us? What are we doing to contribute to this situation in our lives and our communities? Communities where crime rate is so high, relationships fall apart, basically from poor financial condition. Let's work with that. This is something that we can do, and I'm telling you, we can change the landscape of this whole situation. It's not that difficult. I've been through the whole system. I've been a minister for a number of years. Worked in corporate finance and had my own financial planning and tax business. Been an attorney for a couple decades. So I've been there. I've been through the system. I understand what people are up against. But all of this can be dealt with and changed. All it starts with is taking your mindset and having you look at life from a different perspective. Because we've been trained to be workers and servants of other people's needs, and instead of being able to build and create as God intended us for us to do. All right. So let's talk about feel good, motivation. That's all well and good, but when you walk out that door, where's the implementation strategy? And I just did a short 1 minute video. What was that? Keep hope alive. I remember when I was growing up, keep hope alive. Reverend, keep hope alive. That's these slogans and Black Power and we're talking about all the accomplishments that we used to have made, our ancestors made. What about today? Hope is not an economic strategy. It's not an action plan. and all these empty slogans and so